Well, hello to everybody, and this is Auntie, and I was on my way to you. I am here to do my review of 90 Day Hunt for Love finale, season 1, episode 13, The Girl Who Made Her Choice. Let's get into it, shall we? Oh, yes, we shall. A sweet old auntie. Thank you, subscribers to my consistent reviews. All the y'all who have been here through the long. Shall we get into it? Oh, yes, we shall. It's time for auntie to rise. Sweet old. It's time for auntie to rise. It's time for auntie to rise. So we started this episode off at the same place that we left off on the last episode with the confrontation between Rob and Cole. You know, this confrontation is just it's just a bit much, and I just think that Cole's slip is showing anyway. You know, okay. So it's one thing to be in competition with someone, it's another thing to despise someone and to try to break someone and to try to get this person to join you in a confrontation. I just don't like the way that Cole is showing up on this screen. And yeah, I don't like how he's showing up. Let me just leave it there because it makes me feel some kind of way about him. But anyway, I digress. So, Cole is up in Rob's face and he tells him that he can disrespect him. I got my notes, y'all. That he can disrespect him as much as he wants, but he has to stop disrespecting his wife. And what has gone on between Rob and Sophie in their previous relationship or in their relationship has absolutely nothing to do with 90 Day Hunt for Love. And if we want to start dragging, see, here's the hypocrisy in it all. If we want to start dragging people, right, for their past relationship, let's just go ahead on and have the confrontation and the conversation about Jen. I mean, let's just do it. If we're gonna do it, let's do it. If we're gonna spar and go tit tat for the tit tat and knick knack and tit for tat, let's do it. Let's talk about Jen and her relationships with not only Tim, but her relationship with the other Jesse Meester. Let's just go ahead on and do it if we're gonna do it. See, because he didn't want that to be brought up. He confronted Rob about that. So fair is fair. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. Let's really talk about what happened with Jen. Let's not talk about the things that Jen has talked about and her experiences. Let's talk about Tim's experiences with Jen. Shall we? Shall we show how she has showed up on social media? And it's amazing to me that Jen always calls men controlling. I have a problem with men controlling me, controlling me. This is what we have been hearing from this girl. But let's talk about her stuff. Let's spray all her tea out there on the streets. Okay, shall we? Oh, yes, we shall. And Rob, so hold on, let me put my glasses back on. Okay. So Rob tells him that he is not even with Sophie anymore. He shouldn't even have dignified answering him with that. Cole tells him to stop being a playboy. Are you jealous because he's a playboy or he looked like he could be in the center of a magazine? Because one thing about it, Rob is a good looking man, like period, point blank, poo. He's got the eyes that the women love. He's got the physique. He's got the whole package as far as what women like and what appeals to women. Is he jealous because he has all of that? Okay, Sugar 48 says yes, we shall. Okay. Tim jumps in and tells him that he knows nothing about Rob's relationship and that he is hitting below the belt. And so it took a white man to step up in his face to back him down, because what he thought that Rob was going to do is be one of those boys like the guy Jay and punch him and throw him all across the room. But he didn't. It took Tim to step up in there and back him down. And see, the thing about it is, it's those little microaggressions, right? That you can pick up from. You can pick that stuff up. And I picked it up. And maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong. But I mean, this just goes deeper than being in a competition for a woman who has been basically sleeping with whomever she wants to, when she wants to, and how she wants to. And she flips back and forth from, you know what? Anyway, so Cole says that that's what he's heard. But you know what we not gonna do? We're not gonna talk about what he heard. He said that he heard Tiffany tell him, okay, that Elise was sleeping with. Wasn't he the one that backpedaled off of what he said that he heard, and then all of a sudden he didn't hear anything? So what you hear and what you don't hear is not reliable, because you were the main one that sat up there, and Jen got mad at you because you didn't have her back on saying that Tiffany was the one that started the rumor and that you heard the rumor from Tiffany. So we're not going to talk about what you hear, because what you hear has not been accurate, okay? And so Cole tells Jen that she does not deserve Rob. She don't deserve that or Rob, and that he has much more to offer her. This man is trying to do whatever he can do to win. He doesn't have any affections, in my opinion, for Jen. This is just to win, okay? Rob says that he can't believe that Jen went back to Cole because she thinks there is something going on between him and May. And even if it was, what business is it of her? She is sleeping with Cole. Talking about the pot calling the kettle black. Hey, boo. Hey, boo. How you doing? Welcome back. We're looking at all of this stuff. Like, I'm looking at all of this. If it's something going on between Rob and May, it's all fair. Because right now, Jen, at the end of this episode, had to choose between two different men that she's been dating. So all of the men who date Jen are supposed to only date Jen and not date anyone else. I think that that is just so unfair. Thank you, Dee. I think it's just completely unfair, the things that she is doing. Okay? Rob said that it sucks and hurts. And he's like, why? Why am I even in competition with this dude? And it's only because, well, we'll get to that. Tim and Chantel believe that Rob is being bullied by them. And I do too. Because every time he gets into something, he got his handy dandy Carlo with him. He and Carlo are absolutely bullying. But neither one of them, in my opinion, have any integrity about them. And it's so wild that they would accuse someone else of doing something that I have observed, at least from my opinion, that they absolutely have been bullying. And I don't like it whatsoever. Y'all let me know downtown in the chat, what y'all think. But it is just like these two guys who are just really, really bullying Rob. And the thing about it is, you can tell that the bullying, it's not being seen, right? We haven't seen it except for when we see these confrontations and stuff. And what happened to Jay? But anyway, when we see these, did they send Jay home for what he did with Tiffany? Has anybody in the chat or in the replay seen Jay since his date with Tiffany? Did they send him home? So you said, Miss Wilson, yes, you seen them. Nate said, okay, I seen them. Okay, because I ain't seen them. Maybe because I ain't looking for them. But I've just noticed what is this? But I just noticed I ain't seen them. What is this on my page? Here, y'all. I don't know what's going on. I take a thing at night, and I think it dries my skin out after a certain amount of hours. So I'm gonna have to put something on it because I don't know what that is. That's showing up right there. Yeah, it's showing up over here too. Yeah, that's my skin drying out. I got to get some moisturizer, y'all. Hold on, okay? Because I got to put some on my face. I don't like how I'm coming across on the screen. I'm hoping y'all had a great day. I did. I'm tired. Last night I crashed out. I came home and I crashed out. Like I was like, I ain't got it to do, boo. And I want to thank everybody who has clicked on the video for the icon glasses at Anthropologies. If you have not done so, you have not clicked on that video and checked that out, please do so because the glasses are adorable. And I just want to thank everybody who has purchased one as well. And I'm hoping that you all like them. Maybe I'll do a show, right, where we will show our glasses and I get to see what you ordered, how you ordered it, and whether or not you like it. I would absolutely like to follow up on that, y'all. Okay. Yes, I want to follow up on it. Okay, so let me get back to the show. I've now addressed that because that was bothering me some kind of terrible. Okay. So Tim and Chantel believe that he's being bullied. Everyone says that it was low for Cole to bring up Sophie, and Cole calls Rob a dirtbag. He called him all kinds of dirt, and I'm thinking, where did this come from? So what I was saying about the bullying before my skin was bothering me. Rob has been isolated to his room. I think that things on the set have been worse for Rob, and Rob has not talked about it. And I don't think any of the cast members, but for Tim and the rest of the cast or other people in the cast to say that Chantel included, to say that Rob is being bullied, something's going on the set that we're not seeing. Because if there was just two men having a confrontation over a woman, why would Tim use those words? Something else, in my opinion, is going on, and we have not had an opportunity to see it. And it has caused Rob to be in complete isolation. Because when we see Rob, most of the time Rob is in his room. He was playing dominoes with May in the room. Well, that's what they said they was playing. But they was playing dominoes in the room. Rob's been in his room. There was a couple of things, right, that Rob just didn't even want to show up for. He is he is withdrawn. When the girls were fighting on the boat, Rob was totally withdrawn. He was like, I ain't got time for that. I don't want to. I just think that there's some other things that are going on, right, that we just don't have any clue about. Okay, y'all, like I truly do believe that that is what is happening. And so Jen says she likes Cole, but he is too controlling. And she is confused about whether or not she wants to be with Cole or to be with Rob. These are two different men with two different personalities. I think that you would know which one you really want to be with. I think that she had already made her decision that she did not want to be with Rob, right? Because Rob is just as attractive as she is. And Cole isn't, in my opinion. Anyway, Tiffany is trying to date Rocky now because she messed up with Carlo and Carlo moved on. And it's sickening to see this because there have been allegations out there on the curb, right, that Tiffany already had a boyfriend. I did a video on it. Make sure you go and check that out. Um, she So she has been accused of having a boyfriend. Her her ex-husband says she had a boyfriend when she came on the show, allegedly. She comes out and denies it, but then comes back out and says, my son wanted me to try to date again. And so when I saw it on the person's page, I wrote, so now we blaming it on the kids. Now you saying my son wanted me to date again or try to date. Like, stop. Like when we want to go down, when we want to, well, not we, when some people want you to back off of them because they really have no defense, they put the kids up and they want you to have empathy and sympathy for them because the babies. Look, let me tell you something. Your son's a teenager, and Tiffany, you ain't gonna tell me that you're not dating, and it just is what it is. You got busted, boo. You got busted. It just is what it is. Don't blame it on the kids. Take your licking and keep on ticking, girl. Just keep on moving. Like, girl, push it on. So they all go on the boat ride. And but they only have 2 days left in this thing. Elise talks about Carlo lying and says that Carlo tells Elise that he did not want to be a father to Tiffany's children and that he is not attracted to her. And I absolutely believe everything Elise said. Because in a previous conversation, Elise said out of her mouth that Carlo had been talking to her about being afraid to break up with Tiffany because I think that Tiffany and Tim are running the girls and the boys. I think the two of them have stuck out as leaders of this thing, right? And they are running it. And so he is afraid to go against the big girl. Look what happened to Elise. When Elise challenged and just wanted to have a conversation with Tiffany last week, what happened? Everybody jumped on her. Everybody. This girl was surrounded and forced into apologizing to Tiffany. So the deck is not stacked up equally. It is something wrong with the cards because Tiffany has used her age, in my opinion, to run the boys into girls and to make people think that she has it all together. But Tiffany has acted very immature. Okay, immature, not immature, immature. She's acted very immature and she has been manipulating the kids for me, in my opinion, and just running things. Why would Carlo be afraid to break up with her? Rocky ended up moving on to other women, Chantel and other women, because she was so trying to be wrapped up in controlling how Carlo felt about her. And, it was and I'm sure for us, she kept talking about how Carlo did not, really want to be with her kids or want to be with a woman with kids, but she had convinced him that, just stay in there and everything and let's still continue to date and get to know each other, right? And so Tiffany hasn't really been serious about anybody, right? She went out on a date with Jay, I think, and that was a wreck. She went out on that date just to kind of make Rocky and Carlo mad, right? To let them know that she had other options while she's mad at other women on the beach who have other options. She is in Elise's face and she's in Jen's face about the men that they're dating and saying that all of them are coming and complaining to me. I wonder why. If you wasn't a mother bee or the mother hen downtown to Tulum, then nobody would be like, she really got on Jen because Jen had two men running after her. And here it is. She's been dating three men at one time. And I do think that she decided to rock the boat with Carlo and try to push Carlo's hand and Rocky's hand by going out with Jay. And we see how that turned out. She said, Elise said that he is 38 years old and sleeping with a teddy bear and getting manipulated by an older woman. And that older woman is Tiffany. Now, Elise is always trying to stir up some drama and stuff like that. And so she had been with Rob, of course. She had given Rob this bracelet. Ladies, y'all know those little bracelets that, I call them like snake bracelets or whatever you call them. I don't know. There's probably a name for them. that wrap around your arm. Cuffs, right? It's a cuff bracelet. And so she had left that in Rob's room. Evidently, Jen was in the room with Rob, and Elise took the bracelet because Rob is one of those nonchalant guys. I don't know what's going on, but he's extremely nonchalant lately. And he left it there, and she said she liked it, and so he gave it to her. So Elise gets on the boat, and all she wants to talk about is, hey y'all, Elise has my bracelet on. Now, mind you, Elise is a type, Jen has my bracelet on. Elise is the type of girl who stirs up the pot but can't stand in there. She can't take the heat that's in the kitchen. And because as soon as somebody says something to her, she backs down. And I'm like, if you're going to start the stuff, if you're going to spread the rumors, if you're going to make this a conversation, right, then you need to be able to stand in your stuff. And she just does not do that for me. So we see her, telling everybody, and they're like, okay, go ahead on and confront the issue. And so, of course, all of them are coming out of the boat. They're hungry for some gossip. Like they are starving for some gossip and to stir the pot and just to have a whole bunch of confusion going on. That's why no one on the show is mature. They could be 38, 49, 45. It doesn't make a difference. The maturity is just not there because he who runs to confusion is a fool. Right? I don't want to run to confusion. If confusion going on and it ain't my own confusion, I don't have nothing to do with it. Like I ain't got it to do. Okay, I'm a certain age, a woman of a certain age, and I just don't want to be associated with that kind of crap. So anyway, they all come crawling up on the thing. And so instead of her confronting Jen, right, she confronts Rob and says, Rob, why does Jen have my bracelet? Rob is not bothering anybody. He's sitting up there with May chilling. And so, he's doing what he do with the woo whoop and the boo boo boo. And now here she comes with the bull crap. And I'm just like, what in the world is going on with her? Like, she's always stirring the pot, but as soon as somebody pop back, she ain't gonna say nothing. So Jen comes out and she asks Jen about it. And Jen is like, oh, this was yours? She's like, well, where did you get it? Did Rob spend the night at your house? At your hotel room last night? So what if he did? So you trying to stir up something between Cole and Rob? Rob was like, man, it don't make a difference to me. The girl saw it and she wanted it. So she was like, give it back. So Jim was like, no. And so she was like, all right, yeah, you go ahead on it. You keep my seconds. Okay, alluding to the fact that she had a little, I don't know what you call it, kissing session with Rob. So Jen threw it at her. I would have threw it too. So Rocky, later on, we see Rocky and Tiffany being together, and Rocky tells Tiffany that he likes her and all the other women he got to know, but he wants to pursue Tiffany. Yeah, because don't nobody else want to pursue him. Chantel has already made a decision to go to Ashley. Ashley is a young lady who was Chantel's friend. And if Chantel found an attraction to her and the girl kissed her and it blew Chantel's mind. Chantel has not even been interested in dating anybody, really. She just been going through the motions and stuff. But anyway, and so Tiffany is scared, when he starts pursuing her, and it's like, I'm confused on whether or not I want to be with Carlo or be with you. I'm afraid. And, but she said that her and Rocky have like a spark and stuff, and she had been interested in him in day one. When did we see her interested in Rocky? Okay. I ain't think so. But she says there's a part of her that still wants Carlo. Courtney talks about dating Colt and underplays it. She is going to stay for a couple of days, a couple of more weeks with Colty on the island, right until he is able to be totally healed. She starts talking, basically to Usman about the relationship and telling him how Colty doesn't even have anywhere to live, and that, she, Lord Jesus, is thinking about housing the man. And so Usman is like, wait a minute. And she said, he's traveling and all of that kind of stuff. So Usman was like, he's traveling, but he don't have any place to stay. And he was like, Courtney, do you not see these red flags? And I had said that last week in my review because Courtney said that her mother told her to date somebody for money and not for love. She says that, Colty can make her laugh and all that kind of stuff, right? And that's one of the things that she likes in a relationship. Plus, I saw on one of the after shows that she was talking about, them, doing some strange things. But you know what the thing about it is, what one of the things that I have learned over my years of life is that if a man really ain't bringing nothing to the plate and he really doesn't have any money, doesn't really have a steady job, driving around in a hoopty, one thing he gonna know how to do is rock your world. And y'all know what I mean by it. That will be the best, that you ever get. Because he didn't master that because he said that's gonna be his meal ticket. And it seems like Colty used that as a meal ticket. Usman says that he is a scammer. And she says that he is homeless. Usman says that he is broke but travels. Usman asked her if she saw the freaking red flags. I am happy that the kind of, you know what, Auntie, move on. So let me go to my other notes if I can. Y'all be patient with me. So Courtney goes on and um, she says that Uzma has a point about all of the stuff that he had been saying about Carter. She says she came to the retreat hoping to find a successful man, a man to take care of her, but instead she probably found the only homeless man at the retreat. She says she doesn't like all the negative stuff that Colt's ex say about him. Well, they're telling the truth. And you should pay attention to it because you're not exempt and you're not different from any of those other women. I thought Vanessa was a fantastic person. Me chatting with Vanessa and stuff like that. She's always just been a very level headed, honest person. I've liked Vanessa from day one. And Vanessa took the chance with this man, even after he had been in a relationship with Larissa and all of the stuff that she went through. So these exes are not saying negative things about Cole, right? Because now you're going to find yourself being a woman who says negative things about Cole. Because one thing about Cole, he is not going to lie. I mean, he's not going to lie on himself. He's going to be everything that those women said that he was and more. You watch and see. She said she doesn't like the negative stuff that Colt's ex say about him, and she said she feel like he has a bad reputation. So it's like maybe she should take a step back and rethink some things. She said, so am I now the sugar mama? Absolutely, you're the sugar mama. Absolutely, you're the sugar mama. So Rob goes over and has a conversation with Jen, right? And he said, so how's it going? So he said, like, he been processing a lot of what's going on around him, and he just feels like he hasn't really had a really talk to her. He said that they had a great date. Um, she was saying that she was talking about the relationship with May, and he said we played dominoes and there was nothing about that hadn't that you should be just upset about. He said you're able to do whatever you want right up in my face, and I respect that. But on the flip side, if I even hang out with a girl, you're like Rob, but I always been up in a party like that from the beginning. She says, but I wanted to keep my options open and get to know you when I gave you quality time. Did you really think that, like, deep down, I don't care? This is what Rob said. I'm sorry. Like, do you think that watching you and Cole constantly, that doesn't bother me? He said, I don't want it to bother me, but it bothers me seeing y'all together. And I'm chilling, I'm giving you your space, but you won't give me mine. She said, something about you, Rob, that doesn't make me feel safe for the future. What? She said she told Rob everything here is perfect. But what about the real world? How can I have something with substance if can we make it work? And Rob was like, you got to want it. Like you got to want this. Um this was just stupid. The stupid. The conversation was just stupid. I'm gonna move on. So Tiffany has, her little conversation, right, with Carlo. And she's like, oh, here come Carlo. I knew he was going to come around. He like, you want to go somewhere private and talk? Let's go somewhere private. She said, I knew sooner or later Carlo was going to come up to me and pull me away from Rocky. I'm still hurt that he slept with Elise and lied to me about it. But I don't know why there's still a little part of me that's holding on for the hope that he can fix it. How he gonna fix it? When you vindictive and a manipulator, in my opinion. How is he gonna fix it? He doesn't have an opportunity to fix this because even though Tiffany is beautiful on the outside and she's lost that weight, Tiffany's still the same ugly person that was with her ex-husband. Because on that show, when I don't know why people have short memories, Tiffany was nasty to Rob every time she got a chance. She wore that man down for not having what he needed to have or what she thought that he should have. And she is coming from a broken relationship already with a child and get pregnant by him and give him another one. Like, what are we doing here, Tiffany? Ain't nobody forgot about your behavior. All of us don't have short memories. So, so she said, so how are you feeling? I just happened to catch you cuddling up with Rocky. And he said, I guess I was a little jealous and he got to cuddle with you all day. And she was like, well, you was my strongest connection. When did you tell him? When did you tell Carlo that you was his strongest connection? And matter of fact, when he rejected your child, he rejected you. She said, but you really messed up really bad. He said, I take a responsibility for the Elise thing. She said she thinks that he noticed that he really care about her. Okay, y'all, I got my little nose. And I think on a deeper level than anybody here, I do still have that strong connection with you. But I have a bad habit of putting myself in situations with people that hurt me and then forgiving it and then having it happen again and again. And I just definitely don't need to be lied to by anyone that I care about. And he was like, yeah, you're right. Like, I know I'm sorry I was wrong. But I know that in this moment, and see, this is the bull crap that Carla that Carlo be coming out of his mouth was. He said, like, I know I'm sorry I was wrong, but I know that in this particular moment, right here at 5 o'clock, 5:15, he says, you are the most powerful connection. Like, I think that this trip has taught me that it is what it is like if that bond, having that bond and a connection that's strong. And she was like, yeah, but I'm really conflicted. He says, but I know long term I can't imagine something being without you. And likewise, I'm so confused. And she was like, but it's your fault. And he was like, I know. I want to make me stronger again. I'm having a hard time completely letting go of the connection I have with Carlo because things have gone so far south. Like before this, it was great. It was beautiful. There was definitely a lot that I saw in Carlo. So I just don't really know what to do. What? What do you mean you don't know what to do? You move on because Carlo is a dog looking for a bone, and the bone happens to be Elise. Like what part do you not understand? Once a person show you who they are and what they're capable of doing, it's a no brainer. It's a done deal. Like what? Like why would I stay in this relationship? So I just was like, oh my god. So Cole is talking to Elise about their relationship and stuff like that, and he tells her that he basically wants to get her the green card, and that is what Cole is offering. So Jen started changing on Rob when Rob told Jen that he was married. So there was no need for Jen to stay in a relationship with Rob if her goal was to be in the United States. I think that Jen has had these conversations. Y'all, I think that Jen has had these conversations with both Rob and Cole. There is no way that Rob can bring Jen over. These are my opinions. There's no way that Rob can bring Jen over because he is already married to Sophie. Sophie seems like she is not ever going to let Rob go. She doesn't like Rob. She likes to drag Rob. She likes to um, accuse Rob of preferring men. She's talked about, different strange things that Rob has done, in his life for her, right? Being a married woman to him. And so she likes to do that, but she wants to be seen with him. She wants Rob to, want her and beg her and all of that kind of stuff. Recently, they had her going out at a furniture store and shopping, and Rob was at the same store with her. I don't know if she's running behind Rob. We saw Rob at a event recently, and Sophie came up on him where he was with some other woman, and then she, all mad and sad and all of that kind of stuff. And then she had gotten her little face busted open or something happened to her. And I think I did a video on it. Whatever happened to that? Where's the police report? Ain't nobody pulled that up yet. Y'all let me know when that come out. So, hold on, y'all. So she basically was talking about Elise and saying that Elise and other women, right? They want these men who are with someone else. And the thing about it, ain't nobody with nobody else because this is hunt for love. One of the things that I did not like about Tiffany, and it really showed who Tiffany was, when Jen took and showed off the bracelet and everything, Jen was saying, rub it in her face, throw it in her face. And I was like, golly, you raising a 15-year-old son and you have a daughter, and I don't know how old the daughter is, and you are sitting up here agitating and instigating an incident and in this foolishness between Elise and this girl by telling Jen to throw it in her face and then say it in Spanish so that Elise couldn't understand what was going on. With the way that May dropped her head, I was like, this is just, this is just completely crazy to me. And I just did not like the way that Tiffany, and I don't like the way that she has handled herself. Um, Like, period, point blank, poo. So Tim decides that he is going to be late for a date with May and then break off with her. Talk about she flows better with Rob. First of all, Tim, you were not there to find love. Despite how many times you have said that you have tried to find love, you haven't connected with anybody. The only thing you've been doing is sitting up in a hotel room and looking at TV. Tim did not want love. He wanted to come there for the mess. He wanted to come there for the same reason Tiffany did. I don't know whether or not the two of them was in cahoots with each other, but they've been running that island. Every time you turn around and you look up, Tim and Tiffany got something to say about it, or they in the middle, in the thick of something. They're too old to be there. That's just like me at my age going to hunt for love. I'm not going there looking for no mate. I'm going there to be messy. I have no other reason to even be there. Like, who are we playing with out here in these streets? They just came. This was an opportunity, it was a new show. Why not? We'll be on vacation, we'll have fun. But why bring May into that? Why even try to pursue May? He said, I just wanted to come and talk to you face to face. And this has nothing to do with Jen said. I want you to know first, okay? But I really think you're feeling wrong. Wait a minute. He said, but honestly, I see you guys together every night, talking about May and Rob. I get that you might just be hanging out, but I'm not saying I want you to understand, I'm not accusing you of anything sexual, but I think he's more your type. So Tim says, even though she's insisting that her and Rob are only friends, I think they've had a lot more intimate time to bond than her and I have. Rob is younger, he's good looking, he lives in the same city, so like it makes sense. That's the story of my life. I always have a friend that everybody wants. Insecurity. This is not about what somebody looks like on the outside. Hell, Colty is with Courtney. Colty, who is flabby and all, like Colty. We talking about Colty. And he made a connection with blonde bombshell Courtney. Tim, it ain't about what you look like on the outside. It's about who are in the inside. And I just don't think that oh my God. The insecurity just came out because everything he said about Rob is about Rob's outer appearance instead of talking about what is inside of Rob. Has he even given himself an opportunity to really get to know Rob? Because everything that he's saying can change in an instant. An emergency, a fire, a car wreck, whatever. It can change in an instant. That is not what makes a person who they are. That Rob is attractive. Yes, he is. But okay, and most women, when they really get into their maturity, they don't care what a man look like. I still do. But I mean, it is. So he says, I'm always, that's the story of my life. I always have a friend that everybody wants. I'm never the guy that everybody wants. So I'm used to it. No hard feelings. He said, Rob's a great guy, but he's been in a been with a couple of people here, and that's my hesitation on even like exploring that. She was like, you know, I'm not into Rob like that. He a nice looking guy and everything, but mm, Rob got a lot going on. But the thing about it is, Tim should not have even gone out with May. You go out with May, y'all have a good time. She end up reading you, so it ain't nothing. It ain't like May didn't see this coming. So he says, "I want to be your friend." Tim friends on everybody, even Veronica, who he was in a relationship with for a long time. He friend her, and then, you know what? So May now is hurt. She has to hold this weight from Tim. And even though Tim is saying that he wasn't accusing her of having anything past a friendship with Rob, he really did. And she's left holding this bag. And so May says, and I really wanted to make sure that I said this. May said, I know there's been a lot of rumors about me and Rob. I have not had sex with Rob. I haven't even kissed him. We've only hugged. She was like, he's literally my friend. She said, so for Tim to say that, I'm sad and I'm disappointed. But he needs to work on his self esteem and self love. She said, you're a great friend and you will always be that. That's it's sad that she has to defend what she is and is not doing. Tiffany goes out on a date with Rocky. It's fake, it's phony, it's calculated, and it is meant to make Carlo mad. He plays his little instrument, and I was like, okay, I'm done. I'm finished. I'm done. I don't want to be here anymore. So Tiffany and Carlo talk. And I'm just like, for what? What are they talking for? Like, I just, oh my God, like, what are they having a discussion about? Wait a minute, y'all. So, Uzman talks about it being his birthday and that he's excited about it, but he wants to know what's happening between him and Courtney. He said he wants her to choose him, but she's being used by Cole. And he said he hopes that she will wake up and understand what's going on with Colt. Period, point blank, and poo. Period, point blank, and poo. So um, we get down to the nitty gritty of it all, and now they have to make a decision about who they're going to be with. Tiffany, of course, chooses Rocky. And everybody is shocked that Tiffany chose Rocky, but I wasn't. Y'all, I wasn't. This was so calculated. And I don't know, right, if Rocky was affected by whatever happened after the thing went off, but I have a feeling that they were in cahoots for it because Rocky had been exploring just about every woman on the show. Lisa Taylor says, I don't know what Tim's issue is. I can't put my finger on it. He say he is not gay, but I wouldn't pass him up looking for some gay. I don't think so. I totally don't think that's what it is. I think that he is just not. I think that he has gotten to a point where he is settled. I don't believe 1 ounce of Tim is gay. From his head to his feet. I just don't. I think that even if he is, there's nothing wrong with it. And if he is and he's denying it, maybe there's some trauma behind it. But I think that people will believe a lie faster than they will the truth. And I think that once people label people, which is what I hate when people label people. And I'm not talking to you, baby. I just hate when people do that because it's hard to shake off a lie. The truth travels so slow, but a lie will make it in a New York minute. And it's unfair to people's reputation, people's characters. And maybe this is a lot of the reason why Tim is by himself and afraid to let down his guard. I don't think there's anything gay about Tim. I just don't. I think that he's learned how to be satisfied by himself. And I think that when he tries, before the person breaks it off with him, he's going to beat them to the punch. I think that when Tim confronted May, right, and wanted to have a conversation with May, I think that Tim was trying to head off disappointment because he figured that she was into Rob. And so instead of him losing to Rob or to any other man or getting himself hurt, he cuts it off. But do I think that Tim is gay? Not at all. Not at all. Um, so they bring Tiffany up. Okay, y'all, just do not like Tiffany. I don't know if y'all can tell, but I don't like Tiffany at all. So Tiffany um is told to invite the person that she wants, and she invites Rocky. That's a no-brainer. That was a no. Carlo then is on revenge time, right? He ready to get his vengeance out. Hold on, let me go to my notes about what he said because I don't want to read all these notes. Hold on. Hold on, y'all. So Tim says, Carlos says, I do want to express regret. Obviously, if I could take that hurting you back, I would. Ultimately, I think your experience together has led me to the person who I really want to be, and that's what Elise. Elise jumps up and runs into Carlos' arm, child, like she didn't just won a prize. She didn't win no prize. And so she said, I got a ton of questions. I have a ton of questions. You asked to be exclusive with me. You go back to Tiffany and then you go back to me after you guys end. And I'm like, is this a combo platter? Carlo tells her, Elise, honestly, I can't imagine my life without you. I honestly wake up thinking about you every day and I go to sleep thinking about you too. And Tiffany stands over on the side and said, he said the same thing to me. Rob said, I heard it. Can we roll back some bean footage? And they rolled back that pretty bean footage, and he absolutely said the same thing to Tiffany. I really think he wanted to be with the cool guys. So him and Elise pick each other to be with each other. Okay. Y'all go ahead on to have y'all a good time. Tiffany did it on purpose and stated that she did it on purpose to rock Carlo's world. And so, how does she think that that makes Rocky feel? He just used as a pawn in a chess game. So, when they go back and check the tape, this is what Carlo said. Can we see? So he says, like, I want to explore this connection with you. I wake up every day thinking about you and what you're thinking about. Like your feelings mean the most to me. He says, okay. So at least gives him another chance. Courtney chooses Colty. Jen chooses Cole. And Rob is devastated. Jen said that Cole is safe for her. And when she says that Cole is safe for her, what she means is, i.e., he promised me the green card. Cole sat down earlier in the day in a conversation with with Jen, and told Jen that he wanted to be with her and that he couldn't wait to go to Columbia to visit her and that he would be working on the green card. Why wouldn't Jen choose him? At the end of the mess, he said, I got something I want to give to you that Rob couldn't give you. And he gives her a bracelet similar to the one that Elise had on, that Jen threw on the boat. But what he really gave her that Rob would not and could not give her was an opportunity to get a green card to live in America. He promised her a green card. And I was absolutely disgusted with it. And Tim said, I'm going to tell y'all right now, she ain't a good person. She not a good person. Point blank and period. But he thinks Tiffany is a good person? Because that's who he been hanging around. That's his home piece. But Tiffany's not a good person. She not. She's been playing with these guys the whole time. Maybe that was the objective of the game. But one thing about Jen is that Jen fights with women. She's not a girl's girl. She's gonna be your competition. He says, wait a minute. Hold on, y'all. I took and wrote down the daggone notes for what Rob said. But at the end of the day, Rob was hurt. He really did this to work out with Jen. Rob really wanted it. He really was on a hunt for love. But Jen never was. Because if you on a hunt for love, you ain't sleeping with each other. Because all of that stuff muddies everything. I don't think that I had said this a long time ago, and I used to say it to my aunt. My nieces. It's all right to date multiple people at the same time. I think that young people should. I think that you should date and can date as many people as you want at the same time or during the same time period. But I always put this caveat on it. Don't sleep with none of them. Because kissing and sleeping with people make things complicated. And when you start living like husband and wives without husband and wife privileges, securities, and all that kind of stuff, it makes it very hard for you and the other people to make decisions with a clear head out. If you're a young woman, maybe in your 20s and your 30s, and you've grown up, you got your own place, and you're doing your own thing, it is nothing wrong with you taking the opportunity to date multiple people. Because how do you know what it is that you really truly want until you know what you really truly want? If I had never eaten an apple or an orange, I wouldn't know what my preference in fruits were. And I'm not saying it in a way where you sleeping with everybody. I don't think that you should be sleeping with anyone until you have made a decision that this is the one person I want to land with. But even with that, take precautions in that, because sometimes people are not what you think they are. If a person is struggling, he's a nice guy, he's nice looking and all that, but he's struggling with money and he does not have a good credit report and he is leaning on his parents, he is not ready to wed you. Now, people do it, they struggle, they had that struggle love. But if you're really looking for something, take your time, ladies and gentlemen. Guys, it is no problem. There's no issue with you dating multiple people. Just don't make promises that you can't keep. Don't say that you're in a committed relationship if you're not in a committed relationship. I think that young folk should do that. I don't think that people should lock themselves down with one person, because then now here you are connected in this probably more than likely unequally yoked relationship. I remember someone coming to me and talking to me. They were in the church. Christian, they will judge you. Okay. I'm a Christian. I know. Christians are some of the fastest people to judge you, but they will sleep with their girlfriend or they will sleep with their boyfriend, but they will come to church. They will do the church thing. Glory to God. How you doing? God is good all the time. All the time, God is good. They judging you, but they out there sleeping with the person that's sitting in the pew behind them. They get into these marriages, and the next thing you know, they having affairs, they divorce, all that. And they will judge you quickly about the little bitty mote or splinter in your eye, and they got a whole tree on the top of their head. Don't let nobody judge you until you know, baby. You need to be no dating one person. Dating is discovery. When you get into a courtship, as they used to say back in the day, that's when you are dedicated to that one person. But I think a lot of people, they slip and they dip and all of that because they got so many rules on, oh my goodness, aren't you dating such and such and such? Yeah, I'm dating him, but I'm dating Tim too. I'm dating Tim. I'm dating Rob. And I'm dating Colty. I'm just doing discovery right now. I don't owe anybody anything. And that was a problem with this show. People couldn't date. They locked down and made people feel like they were in committed relationships. Tiffany could not allow Carlo to go and see other people because she felt like Carlo was hers. He wasn't hers. Usman backed off when he saw that Courtney oh, and they had a party for Usman. Tiffany, I mean, Usman got upset because he saw Courtney moving on with Colty. But he tried to go out with other people for the sole purpose of making Courtney want him more by making him jealousy. Jealousy don't make nobody want you more. They make you slash their tires. Young people, I can't leave nothing else with you tonight. Don't be a hypocrite in your own life and judge somebody else's life. If you know that you're the type of person that you want a committed relationship and you don't like to date multiple people, because that's not for everybody, right? Because that takes up a lot of time. Then you date that one person, but don't lock them down. Don't lock a person down in a relationship with you. And if you're a Christian and you single, you should not be what they call fornicating. I just wanted to throw that in here. Okay. Okay, Denise said, "Thank you, Lord. I have been happy and single 30 years. I don't have patience for nonsense." Okay, me either. Usman messed himself up with Courtney trying to make her jealous. Absolutely, he did. Terry said, "And please don't move in right away. Date from a distance." And I'm going to tell you, if he ain't got money, if every month he is going to his mama and daddy for money and he is not taking accountability for he or she don't have a good credit report and you don't know what their credit report is and you see them on a struggle bus, let them get themselves together. We looking at Courtney, who stands up there and brags at the fact that Colty gonna come and stay with her and her parents. What kind of prize is he that he got? She got to call. She lives with her parents. She's got to call her parents and say, "Colty don't have nowhere to live. Can he come and stay with me?" And y'all, off y'all good credit, off y'all life savings, after all the labor that y'all had to do for years after years raising her. Now you got Colty, a grown man with multiple ex-wives in his backpack pocket, and he ain't doing nothing but out here playing games, looking for the next slave for stay. What? But men, as I said, broke men, they got game because they have learned how to perfect it. They've learned how to perfect it. And if they don't know how to do nothing else, they know how to please you. Okay. Anyway, y'all, I thank y'all so much for being here. I did not mean for this video to be this long, y'all. I promise you all I did not. I thank you all so much for being here tonight. Make sure you comment down in the comment section. Let's keep the comments going. For some reason, I have not been able to see my comments, so I haven't been able to heart them. I have not been able to heart them. Okay? Y'all, please let this be a cautionary tale. Now, this reunion look like it's gonna be off the chain. It look like it's gonna be off the chain, and I can't wait for it to come on. I love y'all. Y'all be blessed. And I will talk to y'all soon. And until we meet again, y'all be safe out there in those streets and in the water. Bye, y'all.